Welcome to Star Citizen and the preview of the most important changes of version 3.14. With the soon-to-be released version 3.14, we get with Crusader as well as the landing zone Horizon not only finally the long-awaited Cloud City, which is already a visual highlight in the first version, but also extensive and far-reaching gameplay changes as well as exciting new mechanics. And since these topics are still in testing, herewith a clear hint that there will be some leaks and spoilers to see in this video. For the Capacitor gameplay, which officially comes as power management, we are provided with the far-reaching changes in space combat as well as multiple options to determine our own playstyle. All flying ships have also undergone significant changes in their stats, with almost all of them losing roll, yaw and pitch capabilities. The biggest balance adjustment, however, are the changes to all weapons, which should make us rethink and adapt our equipment and playstyle in the future. And at this point we also refer to the source of this data, SC Leaks. The links to the Discord and the YouTube channel can be found in the video description. Thank you for your work, guys! And of course we also go into the upcoming missile operator mode, as well as the new radar scanning and ping system. Here is the last warning, these are not yet final areas which are in active testing, may still adjusted and will come to the live server only in a few weeks. Leak alarm. The graphical processing of the data from SC Leaks shows us, beside the pitch yaw and roll values of the arrow here in blue, as well as the gladius in red, also the new capacitor values, the capacity and afterburner idle value, whereby it is not yet completely clear what this stands for, but we assume that is the energy requirement as soon as the basic energy of the afterburner is used up, so we additionally boost. We also have a reach delay value and finally the regeneration value per second. And with the arrow and gladius, we see that they have been significantly equalized and both lose agility. The capacitor values are the same. The capacitor value can be roughly divided into three areas, with almost all light fighters having identical values. They have a comparatively large energy pool, have an above average charge rate with a short charge delay. In the area of multi-role ships, which are also classified in the medium fighter categories, the Cutlass and Freelancer are also strongly aligned with each other. The capacitor values are also identical here, with a higher energy pool, a lower charge rate like light fighters and a longer charge delay. But also in the area of starter ships, the values have been adjusted downwards, which implies that in the future we will generally achieve a lower maximum movement rate. Capacitor area, it is noticeable that the starter ships also have identical values to the light fighter category. Biggest difference between the individual ship classes in the capacitor range is therefore in the speed and amount we regenerate in direct relation to the maximum available energy. It becomes even more apparent when we look at the maximum capacitor energy of the Constellation series. This is below light fighters or even entry-level ships, but has a higher regeneration rate per second as well as significantly lower base consumption. They have less energy available, but it regenerates faster and the consumption is also lower. Nevertheless, the Constellation series is one of the losers of the movement adjustments, as it loses roll, yaw and pitch values significantly. In the medium and heavy fighter range we usually find a very high capacitor pool, but a comparatively high base consumption with a slow energy regeneration rate. Thus we have the possibility to release a lot of energy in a short time during an attack, but we have to allow more time for energy regeneration afterwards. The area of agility, the Vanguard and Hurricane are once again a bit closer together. In comparison of the medium fighter category, here the Saber and Hornet is interesting. The Saber loses a lot of agility and is now almost identical to the Hornet, which is much better armed. The capacitor energy here is in the range of the light fighter category, so it is designed for fast and enduring battles. In summary, this makes the Hornet even more interesting and stronger in comparison. But let's move on to the rebalancing of the weapons. In advance, the values are not final, however the future changes in the values are mostly very marginal, which already shows us a very clear the alignment of the values. Distortion scatterguns lose significant range, have a slower muzzle velocity and the damage is almost halved. Neutron repeaters gain range slightly, bullet velocity increases and alpha damage is significantly reduced, but this is offset by a much higher rate of fire. Laser scatterguns lose significant range and damage. Ballistic Gatlings on the other hand gain range, damage is more than doubled, but all ballistic weapons have significantly less ammunition capacity. The cannon range damage values increase significantly, where laser cannons have a much longer range. Most interesting, however, is a partial tripling of the rate of fire of cannons. With alpha damage of cannons almost unchanged, but a much higher rate of fire, cannons will play a much greater role in the future. The popular attrition repeaters lose range and alpha damage, but the rate of fire is also increased, which ultimately leads to a higher DPS value. Another clear winner is the mass driver, which has rarely been used so far. They triple their DPS value and double their alpha damage. In addition, the rate of fire is significantly increased. Ballistic cannons, on the other hand, have halved their alpha damage but double the rate of fire. A real improvement is the plasma cannons of the Vandul, which offer less range but a doubling of the DPS value. Here the rate of fire is greatly increased and the alpha damage is reduced. The big plus here is that these weapons will also cause distortion damage in the future, a combination of several types of damage. Very interesting. Due to the capacitor energy, which is different for the different ship categories, we have the choice to use it according to our wishes. Currently, the values of the capacity range from 1000 to 2500, whereby especially larger ships like a Hammerhead or Reclaimer have the smallest pool, but have a high regeneration rate. As a basic principle, smaller ships have a lot of energy available in the short term, while larger ships recharge faster. In summary, the entire weapon system changes significantly by adapting range and rate of fire to the capacity gameplay. Ballistic weapons have the potential to cause significantly higher damage, but all ballistic weapons have significantly less ammunition capacity available, which requires more time to reload than at least the plus time needed for an opponent with energy weapons. In PvP, ballistic weapons will presumably be standard. With a Missile Operator mode, or MOM for short, we get a real added value through multi-crew gameplay, because in the future a co-pilot will have the option to take over the missiles and torpedoes, which will be a separate mode in the future. Because as a solo pilot we can either fire our ship's weapons or use torpedoes and missiles. With an operator we therefore have the potential to maximize our damage and bring more tactical depth into the game. We need the minimum time to lock on a target, but if we lock on the target longer, the chances of a hit are greatly increased. Targeted enemies can prevent the hit through tactical use, including using larger or closer targets as cover, which can disrupt the lock. In addition, it becomes possible to fire missiles without a lock-on, to use an unguided fire option, which is also possible against ground targets. Furthermore, this way a target does not receive any warning about a missile or torpedo lock-on, which is a very interesting tactical component. In addition, the missile guidance control system have been improved, giving missiles and torpedoes better performance and reliable tracking. But also the radar scanning and ping system has been significantly revised and improved. In the future it will be possible to camouflage or hide in the radar shadow of larger objects, such as ships or asteroids. Depending on how far we are away from a target, the information will vary. And of course this also applies to NPCs and bounty targets, whereby in the bounty area especially the Hammerhead has significantly higher hit points and can no longer be taken out so easily with a starter ship. We also get new UI elements in the scanner area, which is expanded with IR, infrared, so the heat signature, the EM electromagnetic values, so any electrical energy signatures, and cross-section, which affects the visibility and reflectivity of objects. Thus the stealth gameplay is also clearly moved into focus. In the passive scanner area, distance plays a much more decisive role, since we perceive scanned targets in detail only at closer range. These can also turn out to be a group of smaller targets. The new scanner system is activated by pressing the tab key by default, which sends out a ping. Here we get a passive display of the radar contacts. We can then actively scan such a contact as usual, getting more details about your target. We can also investigate weakly detected signatures in more detail. It is an active reconnaissance of the environment, and exploration is possible and, above all, necessary. Another gameplay aspect that should not be underestimated. Scanning hits are represented by blobs, which, depending on their size, provide precise or only rudimentary informations. If we get closer to such a blob and actively scan it, we get much more information and details about the target. And in the field of mining, we get significantly more hits in the search for mineable minerals. As the search is facilitated, and experience in the field of scanning also directly affect our chances of success and ultimately the earned UEC. So version 3.14 offers us not only visual highlights like Crusader and Horizon, but some new gameplay mechanics and improvements and adaptations of already existing systems. I'm looking forward to the adjustments, as it can be assumed that the space battles will be more tactical and exciting due to the power management, as well as the adjusted weapons and ship values. But we won't have to wait too long for the new version. Also, the constellation Taurus is coming, which is definitely a highlight for me as well. I hope you liked the video and leave me a like and maybe even a subscribe here. The upcoming gameplay changes are definitely exciting, and I expect more versatility, a higher level of difficulty when fighting NPCs in space combat, a more tactical and deliberate approach, as well as with the new scanning system, more believability and depth. Here I would be interested in your opinion, since changes to ships and weapons are usually polarizing topics and are discussed very controversially. Feel free to write me under the video in Discord or in the almost daily Twitch livestreams. Most important as always, at the very end, thank you to all Patreons, channel members and Twitch subscribers. You are a huge motivation, and without you the whole thing would not be possible in this form. Thank you for your support, guys, you definitely rock! And of course there will be extensive giveaways again, some ships, items, in-game UEC and much more. On YouTube, in the Twitch live streams, in the Discord and for members again extra. You can find more information in the Discord or in the announcement trailer. I say goodbye until the next time, and as always, see you in the verse.